Today is Friday, the 6th of December. In Belgium and the Netherlands, that's a day called Sinterklaas, which is like a kind of a cheap, skinny knockoff of Santa Claus. And we celebrate both for some reason. It's kind of superfluous, but he's also kind of it's hard to explain to foreigners what Sinterklaas is all about. Like, he's basically a slave owner from Spain who comes every year, and he has these slaves called black dicks. I hope the YouTube algorithm doesn't punish me for this, but their name is Piet in Dutch, which the English version, I guess, would be Dick. And they're black, and they call them Zwarte Piet, or blacks. So, yeah, he has these slaves, and he comes from Spain, and he puts the children that don't behave, he puts them in a bag, and basically a fancy trash bag, and he takes them back on his steamboat to Spain. So kids, better watch out. And yeah, I got my son some ants. He's really into ants. He's watching documentaries about ants all the time. And I found him the easiest species to take care of. That's also the biggest. Forgot the name. It's some Latin term, but yeah, he's really happy with it. So I'm happy that he's happy. So yeah, it's basically that. Holidays about giving some gifts and just getting some candy as well. So it's free additional Xmas as compared to the US or other places. Anyway, today I did some yoga. My friend from Russia just left, and it was nice to see her, but we made the mistake of getting into politics the first night that she arrived. And she's Russian, and somehow the subject came up of Putin, the president in Russia, and I thought that most Russians that are living abroad and see foreign news and everything, I thought most of them would be against Putin, or at least not in favor of Putin. But she indicated that she seemed to agree with his politics, or she seemed to say 80% of Russians are in favor of him, and basically said that, yeah, she seemed to be a fan of what he's doing. So generally like a very positive opinion about him. And I was like, a bit taken aback, because I mean, that's the question I asked her is like, okay, but they're invading. He's basically for his personal ambition and gain, ego. And she's very spiritual, so I wouldn't think that she would be in favor of countries invading other countries that are democratic and independent, for what exactly. So I asked her, like, do you think any reason is justified for Russia to invade Ukraine? What could possibly be justified? There's over 1,000 Russians dying every single day. I know somebody personally who disappeared off the face of the earth, most likely killed because he was drafted in the Russian army. Not to mention that they're bombing hospitals. There's about, if a ChatGPT, I checked some stats. If it's correct, there's about 16 children dying weekly because of this war. More getting injured, more being homeless, people suffering, no electricity, all this suffering is like, why is it necessary? And yeah, I didn't go full bore on her. I just asked her what could possibly be the justification. And yeah, she was kind of saying that she doesn't watch the news and she doesn't want to talk about it. But I'm like, well, if you're gonna be pro Putin, then maybe you should watch the news. So that's my opinion of things, and unfortunately she took it very personally. Like, I have nothing against anyone from Russia. The people that worked in my software company were for over a decade. The hardest working ones were sometimes Russian, and unfortunately I lost one of them to the war. So I mean, just to make it clear, I don't have anything against Russia, against Russians. If this war would be stopped, then I mean, I'm pretty fast to forgive and forget, maybe too fast in some instances. But yeah, I was pretty surprised at how she got quiet all of a sudden and started crying, and well, it felt pretty bad, obviously. But well, yeah. What else you're supposed to do? Like I mentioned, that I think that people should at least know who they're in favor of. No, like if I would understand if she were to not want to talk about it, because you can't be Russian and openly dismiss or criticize their governments. But if you were to be aware of the facts, I would imagine that you're also not pro or in favor of. So yeah, I learned that the rule about not discussing politics or religion at the dinner table, it's there for a reason. That was my experience there. Yeah, Dubai, the sunset's looking nice, but it's actually because of the pollution that the air is looking like this. That's one of the downsides living in Dubai, actually. The air pollution right now is pretty bad. So I just arrived to the gym. I'm gonna do a CrossFit session. Hopefully my nose, yeah, it's pretty stuffed again. So this dust probably isn't helping a lot. But yeah, if you have any ideas in terms of, I don't mean to convince anyone either. I was trying to understand, like, actually why or how you could be pro-Putin knowing that so many people are dying, not just Ukrainians but also Russians. I mean, what's the goal? What's the purpose? So yeah, let me know in the comments, and hope to see you soon. Thanks for watching.